This one will only activate if you collect a bliss crystal. Wait, what? So if I go over here and get a bliss crystal, will it then cause us to go down this chain? Or did I fuck myself by not having a bliss crystal down here when I got here? Let's answer Jade's questions, and we'll see if that gets us to go down the left side. I answered Jade's questions as best I can, but I have to stifle in my impatience. This is getting us nowhere. Weren't we the ones supposed to be asking the questions? When I manage to get a question in, Jade just deflects with another. Every time I answer, she asks for more details. She's not being aggressive. She's defending herself. Making sure we can be trusted, perhaps?
Listen to me. Don't fight her.
I know. I'm trying.
The real problem is, I can see Nora crossing her arms and scowling. She's annoyed, getting dangerously close to the boiling point. Alright, now... so... Okay, so when this symbol's here, that means we are currently affected by inevitable. We need to switch tacks, and we're gonna need to go through, I think, all these inevitable nodes. I wonder if we go through the inevitable nodes, and then we have to finish going through the right side. From the corner of my eye, I can see Nora standing frozen. Her usual electric fidgeting has stilled. Jade's up close now, arms crossed, straight backed, every bit the investigative journalist. This isn't the badass Nora expected. As Jade continues to hammer questions at us, I see Nora's shoulders set, her face turned down. She's not just disappointed, she's getting defensive. Maybe Jade immediately switching to analytical interrogation is her helping. It's just me gathering data, process, and develop hyper. Yeah, it certainly depends. I certainly could feel it as far as like the IT brain just switching to troubleshooting mode. But like, she definitely seems to want to have a set amount of information before she really dishes out some deets. I don't really blame her, but this is a delicate conversation. Can we risk her getting on edge? Interesting. So we need 2 bliss crystals to continue going left. We're kind of bouncing back and forth on these branches. I try again with our questions. What did Jade know? Why were they meeting?
Fine. I was doing another investigation into MK, and Ursula was helping. We believe the company was dipping its toes into medical care or a public health program. A couple of neighborhood kids said an MK agent offered them coupons and free samples. Said it was to test a new product line. They called it Egregore. They claimed...
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh fuck. Oh. She sighs, rubs her forehead. Oh fuck. Okay. Alright, so lethal in large doses. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm wondering if Egregore, the lethal in large doses, wasn't. Hold on. Where's our codex? Codex. Lethal and large. So this doesn't appear to be in MK database. But the thing is, egregore is... It's like an intangible substance, invisible to the human eye. So how are they getting it? How are they creating it or harvesting it? Have they somehow, has someone found a way to disrupt the exchange of energy between Brittle and Reverie? Is Reverie actually what they're saying it is? Is it necessary for Brittle? Is it a symbiotic relationship between the two worlds? I mean, I'm going to be on the side of Reverie off the cuff because Megacorpo initially, but very interesting. Oh. But what is it? So, if the aspirations use egregore to exist or gain power, what does a human ingesting egregore do? Will that turn them into demigods? Is it Ichor? Nectar of the gods? Ambrosia? Is it some kind of panacea? A cure-all? I feel like... I think a lot's going to depend if MK is a human that has managed to pierce the urban fantasy veil somehow. If they are somehow... We learned that aspirations can have progeny with humans, you know, demigods. Or if there is a... defector aspiration, putting their hands on the scale in some way, or there's the mention of the void, the nightmares from the void. If those things can not only encroach and damage Reverie, but if they have their own mirror realm, like we have our aspirations, but what if there is a reflection of our aspirations? If there is fears doesn't feel like the right mirror term for a antithesis pantheon, but you know, a collection of all of our nightmares and fears given manifest. If this is a warring situation and the nightmares are now winning as far as control and power over Brittle, which is why the aspirations have been weakened. I hope we learn more about the nightmares and the void soon, because it's a little curious how much the existential threat is. But I don't know. I feel like it's a betrayal or a defect or a corruption internally, because there was a mention at the start of the game that it's or at least I believe it was Bliss that mentioned that it's like an internal strife. It's not like a cool cataclysm. It's not like an invader from beyond. It's something from within, which makes me think corruption or a defector of some flavor.
It was going to help with exams, stress, clarity of mind and all that.
Oh, and if our mother was the previous Harmony, and she was aware of the egg... Ooh. What is the timeline on this? That might be why she's asking about. What if they kidnapped our mother, and somehow using the fact that she was the Harmony, has that connection to Reverie, is using her as a conduit to extract the egregore. Clarity of the mind? Sounds like something out of Reverie, to be honest. But how?
That's all I know.
Oh, I know why she turned to Ursula.
Wait. You contacted my mother because of her work on the Oxyons, on the history of Athena, right?
I only found her stuff by chance. Sounds like MK tried to have it burned, but a few copies survived. That was the only other reference to egregore I ever found.
Yeah, Oxyons definitely not Greeks. Just so the aspirations are not Greek gods, just like this is not in the Mediterranean. Or not in Greece, but still in the Mediterranean. Silence descends as we attempt to unravel these revelations. Sounds like this goes far deeper than we thought. But everything we've learned so far is circumstantial. Just guesswork. Laszlo's not taking the additional MK factor well. Neither is Nora, who looks dumbstruck. Has MK done something to my mother? Nora is being clumsy, but all she wants is to connect with Jade. Nora strides forward.
Alright, enough.
Uh-oh. Oh, that music. We got a bit of a beat now.
Out of our minds with worry for days. We heard you might be the sort of person who'd want to help. Help when people are lost. But you're just digging for details. Is the story all you care about? We don't need that. Come on, Paul. If she's not gonna help us, we'll find someone who will.
Jade's a stranger to us, and a journalist to boot. A hardened shell is practically a job requirement. But Nora's words have caught her off guard. She steps back, arms hanging loose at her side. Shush, Nora. Don't upset Jade. I'm gonna have to disagree with you there, Bliss. We're gonna let Nora speak her mind. It's clear Nora has more to say, so I keep quiet. We've all been through the ringer of late. This might help her relieve some pressure.
I knew I shouldn't have gotten so hyped. But who you are, what you do, you seem to be doing so much good around here. I really don't have words for it, so I thought... But I understand I'm in no position to ask for more. Let's go.
Nora.
Jade's eyes have misted over. There are tears there, welling up at the edges.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit!
I didn't mean to... Oh, hell,
It's okay. It is. Don't worry about it.
The hard edge has evaporated almost completely. Jade wipes her eyes and then her
The
nose.
last few days, they've been a lot. Like, a lot. The last few months, even. Harder than anything I could ever imagine.
She looks up, trying to force her tears back down. Man, the VA work here is pretty freaking good. Nora gave you an opportunity to learn more about Jade.
I'm sorry. Really. That was rude of me. Disrespectful. Not my intention.
No, please. It's all right. Really.
I've spent the last weeks, months actually, digging into MK's plan for this place, and I just can't take it anymore. They own everything. The systems, the records, the security. They roll over the vulnerable and suck up every resource they can. It's heinous. It's unfair. And I can't do anything to stop it. And no one gives a shit. Feels like it's just me out here sometimes, you know?
Her voice is tired. Her gaze evades ours. Even her hand gestures are weary. Jade's exhausted beyond
And I
imagination.
know that's not true, but it feels like it. I have people with me, sure. Friends, comrades, but it never stops. Now Ursula and yeah,
Oof, times it. Yeah.
it's all gotten a little much.
I'm sorry too.
Big leftist mood. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely can relate to that. For a moment, I wonder if Nora might hug Jade, near stranger or not. The way her arms lift, it looks like she wants
I
to.
didn't realize I was so angry about everything. I think I'd feel the same in your shoes.
Jade actually smiles.
Thanks. It's just like
But the smile goes away after a
I'd
second.
like to help if I can. I don't know if I'm good for anything at the moment.
Burnout's a hell of a thing.
Yes, it is!
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay, so we can do that. We go back here and pick these. We don't have any bliss crystals. We can go ahead and pick this, it looks like. Can I still go down here? Oh no, because these are an inevitable choice. I see. So we got locked in. Okay, so we basically locked into it. All right, let's see what happens. Jade's mouth tightens. She's made a decision.
All right, I'll hit up my network.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it's still risky, but it's not like shouting the search from the rooftops. No offense.
None taken.
If MK Cotton's on, we've got a better chance of containing it if we know who knows what. It's our best option, for sure.
Because we know that they know that we know that we know that they know that we know. So they know that we know that they know that we know that they know, which means that we know that they know that we know that they know that we know that they know we know. Clever girl. She looks at Nora and smiles warmly. Nora smiles back. Sounds like we have a plan. Jade has more to say. What you got for me, Jade? As it turns out, Jade lives near the Naiads. So we agree to walk back together. The first time, I noticed what a beautiful day it is. The sun warming my skin, the breeze flicking at loose strands of my hair. We meander through Alma, the four of us. It feels almost tranquil.
It's not easy for someone to go missing on this island. Everyone knows everyone and everything. Alma's a small world, a tight-knit community. You'll find her. Problem is, you've got MK between where you are now and where you want to be. No way you're avoiding a tussle.
When I left Atina, Monokonzan was background noise, just a detail in our lives. Now they're a juggernaut, unchallenged, inescapable. I've realized I'm angry. Resentment burns in me each and every time I hear that name. We turn a corner, and the Naiads float into view. Nora crosses the path to walk alongside Jade.
I mentioned it before, but I think I was approached by those MK goons you mentioned. The public health project guys?
Shit. Egregore and everything.
Yeah.
Was this the job she told me about?
Listen, you didn't ask for it, but here's my advice. You see them coming again? You run. Or tell them to fuck off, or scream at them, or whatever. Do not take their money, Nora.
Hell yeah, tell them to fuck off.
No, yeah, I wasn't going to.
I I've heard rumors. People who came back the very opposite of healthy, and ones who never came back at all.
Oh no.
Other disappearances?
Hard to tell. People go missing all the time, especially the ones society pushes to its edge.
Corporation targeting the vulnerable for testing? Yeah, who'd have thunk it? Definitely not something real corporations do. No, not at all. Hey, what are you doing looking into all that? Don't worry about it. I can tell Jade's trying to sound reasonable. He's had to deal with so much.
Sometimes they just move on, change cities. There are rarely any records, but recently, a lot more people than normal have gone away, and most haven't come back.
But the ones who did come back?
Said they were given this egregore stuff, pills or injections, and that was it. Some got sick, others were fine, but no clarity of mind business.
Could this be the moment to tell the truth? No, not yet. Reverie's my burden to bear, for now. How do I bring up the aspirations without sounding like I'm having a stroke?
To bear that burden you shall.
Oh shit, power, what the fuck?
You must.
Damn! I try to ignore Power's voice. I don't want to start acting weird and lose what little trust we built with Jade. Not far now. Jade gives us a nod and a wave as she heads into her building. As we turn to leave, Bliss appears alongside me. I smile at Nora and Laszlo as we walk in companionable silence, and Bliss laughs.
Someone's been busy. Well, guess what? We've been busy too. You're not the only bunch investigating. Bond and Power and I have news.
Truth still clings to life, but they are beyond our reach alone. Even our own
Oh,
ties
shit.
have been severed. But we are close. So very close.
Okay, so aspirations can die. Ooh, I wonder what happens when an aspiration dies, though.
Our world does not cease to be when you are not viewing it. It is imperative that you stabilize your home front quickly so that you may assist us in reverie. Do whatever you must.
I'm trying.
We know. So, here's the plan. We can clear the way to Truth Sanctuary, but after that, we'll have to summon you. Be ready.
Ready. Ready. Okay, let's end the chapter. We have reached the end of the act, and now we choose an outcome. Only the ones you have unlocked with crystals are available. Okay, so it seems like we may be able to unlock multiple possible outcomes, but at the end of the chapter, we can only pick one to happen. Noted. But before we pick it, we had some codex entries, so let's check those real quick. Alright, so we got Jade, born in 08, studied literature but dropped out. Mother from Malta, and father from Athena, estranged, raised by her mother. Got good grades until she dropped out of school. No stable income. Writes articles for various independent publications on an irregular basis. Refused offers to join Mono Concern's open employment workshops. I don't think we read Laszlo's entry. Born in 1974, former nurse and owner of a well-established bar in Alma. Widower of Alex Nataliza, whom he had one daughter, Veruca Cassar. Met Ursula Beauclair while on duty at St. James Hospital. Was one of the first community members to join her in renovating the Neons. Briefly sat on city council in the 90s. Became his granddaughter Nora's legal guardian when Veruca Cassar chose not to raise her child. Refused multiple offers from Mono Concern to franchise his bar. Funny how the Mono Concern database is always mentioning, you know, these dissidents who chose not to raise their child. Yeah. Yeah, Yeah, gee, I wonder if this game maybe exploring stuff about family. We certainly have a lot of found family stuff going around, which is very nice to see. All right, we have the Amadeus Skate Park. Amadeus Skate Park was built decades ago and is the only park of its kind on Atina. It always been, and still is, a place of joy for Alma's youth. In the mid-10s, Monoconcern tried to buy this aging piece of architecture from the municipality, offering to modernize the facilities. This offer was met with contempt by the local community. The corporation eventually agreed to leave it untouched. Since this unfortunate incident, Amadeus has become a symbol of anti-Monoconcern activism. Relatedly, I recommend not viewing the Steam discussions forum for like, oh yeah, no, I don't look at anything until I'm done with a game. That's why I say, like, I try to go into games as spoiler-free as possible. The most I looked up is for content warning, trigger warning things. But thankfully, it also flashed up at the start. I will say one thing that would have been nice is if I could have, like, it flashes a content warning on opening the game, but there's no way to just, like, view that content warning, like, in the settings or options or just like a menu location, which is a little annoying. That or like an actual place on the website that was easily searched to just pull up the content warnings would be nice. Let's make our decision. Only one proper way to bring an aspiration back to life. All right, let's see what happens. I think we're bringing back Truth. Truth's buried temple. Is Truth in like a volcano? Font is here. So is Power.
Welcome to the domain of Truth.
Someone worked hard to keep us from entering. But together, Power and I, we found a way inside.
Come, let's get this over with.
It's interesting that this is a choice of Power, the sort of authority sort of kind of person, and Bond, the much more communal collectivist person working together. When you would usually think of them always being intrinsically opposed entities on any decision. I'm surprised to find a cave, cold and damp. Not at all where I imagined the aspiration of Truth would reside. Empty walls, clear water, an unfillable void. It could be how they picture facts and accuracy. Cold, solid. Bond and Power survey our surroundings. Their eyes are alert, but they seem relieved. I see Truth, there in the center. They are broken, shattered. I move closer, my footsteps echoing in the void without dying entirely. Even sound can't hide in here.
Power, let us proceed.
Agreed.
To my surprise, the two of them join hands. Bond begins to sway to a beat I cannot hear. Power joins a moment later. Soon, the sways become a foot-pounding, heart-shaking dance. Do I hear drums in the distance? Dance quickens, the movement of limbs blurring until the two aspirations are almost indistinguishable from each other. The drums grow louder, joined by a chanting that seems to come from the empty air just over my shoulder. Egregore picks up the broken shards of Truth in a kaleidoscopic whirlwind of color and substance.
Working. Keep your distance. This may be...
A new sound emerges. Low vibration. A hum coming from the statue itself. Ooh, it's been a minute since we had an animation. Okay, that does look like that symbol is truth. Oh, look at her eating ramen. Hello. Ooh, does Truth speak in sign language? I don't know sign language, so I don't know if they're actually signing. The animation of Bliss slurping noodles was loving. Yeah, that felt very Ghibli. We're getting closer to finding Ursula. I can feel it. Reverie is guiding me through this maze. There's still a lot I need to figure out for myself. Ooh. I'm kind of sad that we didn't get an animation of Bond and Power dancing, because it was described in text and it sounded really cool, but we didn't get any music, and we didn't get any like visuals for it. Like, man, I really would have vibed with just some of that, just kind of like some low, like I'm thinking some very like War Duna, kind of just some low drumming sort of drum beat music going on, probably calling back to some skin drums, like for like ancient culture reenactment kind of things. I don't remember any of the terms for like the old drums off the top of my head, but it would have been pretty cool, kind of like very primal and very, you know, that you just kind of feel that beat in your gut kind of music. Silence reigns in the cave. The new figure stands before me, regarding me with cool eyes. Now, one thing I did see, and I don't think it got fixed, it seemed like Truth's book, while repaired, still had a torn out page. I'm curious if we have a situation where Mono Kernzen is a human who learned about the existence of Egregore and somehow, you know, doing all this stuff. I wonder if somehow a page of Truth's book fell to Earth, and so a human discovered it, and that's how they learned of the existence of this other world and these aspects, and would explain why they may have bits and pieces of knowledge, assuming, you know, Truth is, you know, knowledge. They would know a lot, you know, they would be able to use that somehow to advantage themselves. They wouldn't know everything. They would still need to do a bit of experimentation and take a little bit of time and research. I hope Bliss was right, that they know where my mother is. The aspiration stirs. Bliss, Bond, Power, they're all here.
I am Truth. I am the eye that sees, the unveiled, the watcher in the dark. And I am whole once more, thanks to you, Harmony.
That name again. No matter.
You're welcome. But please, my mother, Ursula Beauclair, do you know where she is?
My memories remain out of reach, shattered like my cell.
Ooh, there's cracks on Truth still.
Although I cannot tell you where your mother may be, I do know her fate is entwined with that of Chaos.
Chaos is capitalized.
And that it was Chaos who incapacitated me.
Ooh. Bliss is sitting on the ground, visibly annoyed by something. Bond seems to be uncomfortable, but Power stands and begins pacing, almost marching.
Outrageous. We have tolerated this charlatan's exploits for far too long. I told you before, Chaos would be the death of us. Always scheming and plotting against their own kin.
It seems like Chaos might be a bit of a Loki sort of aspiration.
They may have a maze enemies, but I have an army. I'll flush him out in no time.
I don't like the sound of that at all.
No. Such violence would only widen the rift that already threatens to tear Reverie apart.
Right?
We need to listen to each other, please.
Ooh. Interesting. So Bond's little cat's cradle thing has had various shapes inside of it whenever he speaks. It seems his concerned or anxious emoting has the cat's cradle falling into disarray and not any kind of pattern. Definitely a touch of Hades Town, Hades paranoia about insurrection. Responding to it with violent oppression to power her. Yeah.
Harmony. Our kin Chaos retreated to their endless maze shortly after Truth disappeared.
So why did Chaos break Truth, presumably?
Now we know why.
Swing! Leaves.
That maze. Is it impenetrable?
It's a labyrinth of trickery and tomfoolery built by a coward. Myself only.
The maze is full of tomfoolery and shenanigans, and I will not abide it! I like to imagine there's just all sorts of silly stuff, like you turn a corner and you get a pie to the face.
Only we cannot enter an aspirations domain without being invited.
And that charlatan will never let us in. They will refuse to fight face to face.
That's enough.
Ooh, angry Bond. Interesting.
Chaos may be unbound, but the secret to their return is consensus, not division.
Power, taking a very direct approach, taking pride in his honesty. Definitely the sort of person who doesn't appreciate fucking around. Yeah.
Bond is correct. War is an engine of strife and in direct opposition to our needs. And may I remind you, we have other matters to attend to. Our realm lies in tatters, a shadow of itself. Glory refuses reason at every turn. We must decide where our attention is most required.
I need to remind them of my own goal.
I have to find my mother. For the sake of my own family.
Did I speak too frankly? They seem surprised.
I hope you understand.
Certainly. It is the logical choice.
Truth's VA sounded familiar, but it doesn't look like they are who I thought they were. So it's Rachel Atkins. The game I most jumps out at me is Talos Principle 2. They played one of the major characters in there. Interesting.
But I would suggest that a search for Chaos and a search for Ursula may well be one and the same.
Bet Glory is that very stylish one we saw in the cutscene. Oh yeah, I bet that's Glory.
I don't understand. Why would they be linked? What aren't you telling me?
Tell me the truth! Truth! You can't handle the truth. I need your strongest truth. It's interesting how Polly, as Harmony, has this little aura emitted whenever she communicates. Yeah. It's very interesting whenever she's in Reverie and gets that little animation. I am certainly very curious how the title of Harmony changes between people. Initially, I thought it was, person dies, another person takes up the mantle. Doesn't seem like it's that way. Or maybe it's supposed to be that way, and something's happened. Messed things up. Not a single one of them can look me in the eye. Another secret. Another closed door I need to pry open with my bare hands.
I may have a mutually beneficial solution. May. As I say, my memory remains treacherous. Go home. Await the coming of tomorrow. And we will see if fate guides us true.
Fate?
The laugh escaping my throat hurts.
Fate is an easy word to throw around. I'll wait for tomorrow.
I am pleased.
The other aspirations look set to launch into their own sales pitches, but I've made up my mind. I bid them farewell, close my eyes, and plunge back down the rabbit hole to Brittle. I'm back at the Neaids. Traveling between the two realms is always a brief and uneventful affair. Wait, I'm not alone. Something fogs my vision, a popping, crackling sensation that could only be...
That was a pretty mess, wasn't it?
Oh, ho, ho. Oh, okay. I thought this person would be Chaos. That voice, though.
I don't understand. Bond said you were hiding, so how are you here? Now?
Hiding? I'm not hiding. I'm out here relaxing, taking a load off, escaping the rat race.
Okay, I like Chaos.
You've seen the others. Can you blame me? Doesn't mean I can't talk to you, though, you lucky thing.
But why? Why won't you work with them then?
Also, speaking of looking at details, there's one thing that jumped out at me was characters' eye colors. I wanted to pay attention to it when we shifted from Reverie back to Brittle. So in Reverie, our eyes were a very bright blue, but while on Brittle, they're more of a pale green. I don't know if that is significant of something. But it's certainly... I feel like there's something going on. I keep coming back to thinking about demigods and Bliss being surprised at us showing up. I'm wondering if, like, our mother is still supposed to be the Harmony, but somehow we were able to take up her mantle in her stead when she was kidnapped or whatever, using the necklace, the artifact that lets us transport between realms. Also the phrasing of your return and one of Bliss's tooltips. Yes.
Because they've got it all wrong, you see? I am chaos, as much as truth is truth and power is power. They aren't just names, my dear. I'm not hiding from you. I'm just in a place that requires effort to reach. Live your life by my name. I'm sure we'll see each other soon. Bye-bye for now.
And they're gone, taking their riddles with them. Live your life by my name. They're offering me another path, right? Whatever's coming my way, I need a break. It's late. I'm tired and anxious about whatever truth is planned for tomorrow. Time to eke out whatever rest I can manage. Okay, we have a new screen. This shows the number of crystals you've collected throughout the story. Aspirations need Gregor to extend their influence over Brittle. Collecting their crystals fills up the gauge that represents their need for Gregor. It's H to see this anytime in Augural. Fulfilling an aspiration's need for a Gregor completely will change Atina's destiny. Who will you choose to champion? Or will you try to maintain a balance between the forces ruling both Reverie and Brittle? Ooh. Interesting. Another thing I'm wondering is these overlapping areas. I wonder if people next to each other are considered like complements. We've definitely seen power and chaos do not get along. They seem pretty antithetical and combative. So I kind of want to see if Truth and Bliss start butting heads. And then we can see if Bond and Gloria do so as well. Where's the aspiration of gnats? Truth and Bliss opposing makes sense. Ignorance and so on. Bond and Glory also makes sense. Community versus individual. Yes, yes. We also saw in the objectives, Bond and Power were, you know, a combined with Bliss sitting off to the side. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Power and Bliss, authority figure to provide sanctuary or feeling of it, and Bliss represents great. Yeah, although I still think it's fascinating that Bond and Power could possibly be complementary, because of Bond being collectivist and Power being pretty tyrannical. Alright, so this has chapter 1, 2, 3 chapters. Holy shit! A collective wind! A collective win. We could already take one. Ah, we have to get all the way there. Bond and Power makes sense to you because power represents leadership in general, so Jade aligns with both of them. Interesting that we have a Chaos and Truth combo over here. But it makes sense in the idea of thinking that side by side are complementary, which then makes me really curious about why Chaos shattered Truth. Truth also doesn't seem to be miffed by it. So I wonder if there are plans within plans going on here. I wonder if Truth wanted Chaos to do that, or if they agreed to do it to set certain events into motion. Because everyone's talked about how they've had some fuzziness on their memories. Yeah, exactly. It brought people together. I also wonder if there's a situation of like, we need to not know the broad plan because of other forces, so as to enact the correct, thread the needle of a correct plan for the future. You know, kind of set a bunch of events into motion and then forget about them, and trusting that all of the balls will bounce off each other and land in the pockets once we've given them their nudges. All right, so this is another 3 chapters. I think we can do another potentially 3. Let's dive in. We'll see how this goes. Okay, I look at this now, and I'm concerned if I do try and go with this, I may accidentally do a 10-hour, and I don't want to do that. I am very much enjoying the fuck out of this game, but I don't want to exocolonist myself again and burn my brain out. But we did have the codex entry on Chaos and Sanctuary, so let's go ahead and make sure to check those real quick. Chaos, a master of trifles and a cosmic designer. Chaos is both none and everything all at once. As the oldest aspiration, they are the spark that bursts reverie, and are also the one who can change it. None of this matters to Chaos, however. They are the aspiration of the present, and neither the past nor the future matters to them. The rawest and yet most complex incarnation of dreams, Chaos is unpredictable, free, and always in search of something to create or destroy. Didn't Bliss say they were the first? No, I guess it says their earliest. One of the oldest. So Chaos apparently is the first, which, okay. From the formless chaos, existence came into being. Truth is the unequivocal answer to life, setting boundaries and laws between everything that is. As the guardian of the Book of Facts, Truth keeps a record of the history of reverie. Okay, but if Truth sets the boundaries of everything that is, what does it mean that their memory has gaps? Does that mean existence has cracks that things are now slipping between? Truth is the weaver of prophecies and all-seeing eye of reverie, capable of predicting what will be and seeing everything that could have been. They defined the very structure of reverie, creating the nexus out of thin air for the aspirations to coexist in. They care deeply about the fate of dreams and devote their existence to ensuring the future can come to pass. So double checking that Chaos... Definitely seems Chaos uses they, them. Truth seems to be they, them. Power, he. Bond is... he. And then Bliss... she. Okay. Well, I'm trying to make sure I keep in mind the pronouns it's indicating. It doesn't seem explicit, but they seem to be pretty good at implicit. Possibly, I did bring the others together. Wait, I feel like I read that already. Almost in my mind. Truth's buried temple. Truth's underground lake lies far away in the north of Reverie and doesn't have a bed. Its surface is a door beyond dreams that leads to the subconscious of life itself. Only Truth can stare into it and retain their sanity. This lake is a way for them to see everything and nothing as they please. The cave surrounding it acts as an echo chamber. Much like its owner, this sanctuary has remained unchanged since the very beginning of time, unaffected by cycles and shifts. Reverie's Maze. This maze rose from the droplets of egregore falling from the Nexus and is a puzzle even to us. It has long remained unexplored by us aspirations, who fear what may be lurking inside. Eventually, Chaos decided to claim it as their playground, tending to plants and concealing dreams within its depths. A few aspirations refused to grant them their land, but since Chaos had never had a proper sanctuary, those aspirations were voted down. Most of us still don't know how or why this labyrinth came to be. Interesting.